Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today is the Arena Open. I'm probably going to skip it. I haven't really found a deck that I've liked. I'm not particularly fond of the best of one format. I was trying out Goblins, and then I was also trying out Mono Red Burn for best of one, and just couldn't consistently win games with them. It's also with the exchange rate, it's like 30 bucks to play each shot here in Canada, so going to focus on ranking up on the ladder, finding a deck that I enjoy in Standard. So it's been pretty much Teamer Wreck Off for the last little bit. I found this list for the most part identical. Phil IV on MTGO went 5-0 with it. So this is a 4-color control, non-red control. And the only change that I made was they were playing 3 Drown in the Lochs. I went up a 3rd Sharknado because this card is very, very good. But basically it is a mashup of a Bant control and an Esper control list kind of thrown in. Your main win cons are Jolrael, Uro, and Sharknado. You have Disruption in the form of Teferi, obviously, and then Vraska. Alt can technically win you the game, but you're still relying on a creature. Vraska's more for card advantage and destroying permanents. And then you're pretty much just a package of removal and card advantage. You have Ops for card advantage, Growth Spirals, card advantage, and lands. You have Drown in the Loch and Veto as both counters. Drown can also be used as a removal spell. Heartless Act and Eliminate in there. Oathakaya can also redirect some damage. And then a couple Extinction Events as your sweeper. Mana base-wise, you got your Triomes, some of the Shock lands. So noting that you're basically playing a Sultai Splash White deck for the most part. So something to keep in mind when we are searching for lands. 1 swamp, 2 islands, and a plains for our Fabled Passages. So, and 2 forests. Duh. I did make a couple of changes to the sideboard as well. I went down another Veto and a Dispute for 2 Nightpack Ambushers. I think for the Ruck matchup, you want to be playing at instant speed, so having your threats come down at instant speed would be good. But basically, you got some removal, Noxious Grasp, Disputes, Narset for like the Teamer Wreck Bant matchups. Cry versus aggro, another Teferi versus the control mirrors. Kaya can come in against a couple decks. It's not bad against Teamer Wreck, but also you can attack like Cat Oven decks. Another Extinction Event, Nightpack Ambusher, and Thought Distortion. May want to see if I want a conditional, non-conditional, like Shatter the Sky instead, but that's something we'll play some games and see. Currently, Plat Tier 3, Season Reset. So we'll run this first, and then we'll go back to some historic. Picked up the Mono White Auras list last night. Haven't got enough reps in with it yet, so I didn't want to play that in the event, but it could be potentially a good choice. It's a little difficult to interact with unless you're playing, like I find Grixis is good against it because you have like Languish and more of like the sacrifice style effects to get around the indestructible. But otherwise you have Eidolon and Selfless Savior, or whatever the good boy is. I mean, we got lands and we got arrows. Can't ask for more. We do need a white source. Well, a bunch of arrows. I was hoping for like a Growth Spiral that turn, get us to 4 lands. Okay, so John Dovin. Heartless Act's not bad to have in there. This probably is a game where I just hardcast Shark Typhoon. Making like one big Typhoon isn't the best usually. Ideally, we draw a land, shock it in, and then I can hit the priest. How many lands are we playing in this deck? 26. Tad annoying there. Was hoping for another land drop. At this point, we don't need to worry about priest, but we don't really have a density of creatures, so they're on the Solemn build. So I think this list, if it's the newer list, they'll play 3 Solemns. I think we go Jolrael here. Growth Spiral, try to hit a land. Okay, we need to go to 27 lands, I think. We've drawn 3 extra cards and have played 26 lands. They have Claim here, it's pretty bad. They have Devil. And Goose. So they sack 2 and then put the damage on. They clear our board. That seems odd. You'd think you'd want to do the Priest. Sure, that's best case for us. They could have just done that with Priest and then killed our board and kept the Mayhem Devil and the Priest. So kind of loose by the opponent there. Okay. I think what we do here... kill the Woe Strider. Because I can hold up Drown as a counter spell here. If they try to escape. One card short. I would have been able to counter this. I think we have to let it resolve. It's unfortunate. Just not hitting our mana this game. Kidding me? Okay. We're gonna add another land after this. Do they have a cat? They don't. So I'm going to counter this. They can escape back, but their life total is getting a little lower here. The cat's going to insulate them a lot, though. Also lets him play around an Extinction Event. Yeah, this game's unfortunate. We were in pretty good starting, but never really drew out of it. They could kind of peel off the top of their deck now. So this is interesting if we do want Veto post board. Like, it's good to catch this Citadel, and that's how they kind of beat us. think we maybe bring in the ambushers as well. Seeing if they go through all these, because we might be able to draw like an Extinction Event, sweep them up if they're not careful with how they play this out. Why is my timer going down? They're doing the game state actions. Okay, so if we can draw Extinction Event, then we can sweep up all these little guys. Otherwise, we're pretty much dead. Oh, we're dead anyways. Do they have the cat? They had enough. So Kaya's good here. Bring in the removal. I don't think we want Teferis at all. Bring in the ambushers. Vraska could serve as some more removal. Get rid of the ops probably. Run it like that. Poor showing for the deck, that one, but 26 lands, draw 4 extra cards, don't hit your 5th land when you start with 3 in hand. And then we are 1 card off from being able to counter that Drown in the Loch, or with Drown in the Loch. Had we had a white source, we've been able to veto the Citadel, and then been in a pretty good spot to untap with. The opponent may still think we're on Sultai. That's probably reasonable. We have Eliminate for an early threat. Have our white source, which bodes well. Also, the sideboard's strange. No access to, like, Wilt or Return to Nature. Seems wrong. Having a way to blow up, like, artifacts and enchantments. I think I'm going to kill the Goose here. Because then next turn I'm going to Kaya anyways. Ah, I got the oven.
I like a good fight. Notice I didn't say.
So we get an oven out of the way. They always have it, it seems. And they do have a spare food token, so the first removal is not really going to work. Okay, so they brought in the Noxious Graphs for us, versus us. How do you miss this many land drops in a 26 land deck? would they have for 4 mana at instant? So I'm going to Sharknado here, just trade with the cat. They can get it back, but takes it off the battlefield. I need to draw into like a Veto or something. So I can go even here, but I think I want to hold off the event. They're without food tokens. So I think here we just go... I think we just pass here. Four cards in the grave. Do you want to hit my 5th land? So this lets me eliminate and hold up both the Kaya. Or drown in the Loch. Okay, so it's actually pretty good because I can eliminate and then counter their it gives me blue, black. This might just be Escape Woe Strider. They left a claim. They exiled the cat, which is interesting. So I'm doing this before the token comes out. So I'm keeping this in case we need to cycle. Fortunately, they exiled their graveyard, so these drowns have felt really bad overall. Kill this. That puts 3 cards. These just being like vetoes or anything else would be much better. I think we just counter it. I'd rather keep the Extinction Event. They can crack this, they can deal some damage to Vraska, but I'm going to probably Extinction Event this Mayhem Devil. what's the best draw we can have? Nightpack wouldn't be too bad. Cast second Citadel. Takes 6 damage. Eliminate would be good. Uro would actually be great. Okay, so we have the Eliminate. We have Jolrael. So they can get Woe Strider out of the grave. Can't really do much with this growth spiral right now, so we'll just hang on to it. So they cast Woe Strider off the top. They can sack these to scry. But they are pretty limited. They can make some food tokens. Ah, they got the cat. Shit. So they can sack once to the cat. We're at the point. A lot of these standard decks just feel like people are playing solitaire. Let's just do this now so I can pass priority. So do they have us dead? Don't have us dead. Could be interesting. We are short a land, though.
It was probably going to die anyway.
They could set up their scries, but we get to clear out at least the Woe Striders. Some more cards in hand. Oh, they got Corvold too. Interesting they're doing this before I like name. Veto's not that good once they get the Citadel down. Bring the cat back. We can veto something that they play. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they need one more permanent in play. Oh, they could sack the veto too. Yeah. Man, standard is terrible. I can go play Historic. This is just not an enjoyable format. Like, you have to play these greed piles, and then you just kind of end up with this. The deck needs more lands. It's kind of awkward at times. I'm going to go play a format I enjoy. So I'm going to wrap this one up. I'll queue up a Historic stream in a moment. I'm just going to switch things over. Thanks for those stopping by. Have a great one.